Welcome to Inside Creative Minds. I'm sure by now you're totally confused, and so am I. But here's the deal. We have a new name for the show, and this show is going to be great. And oh, by the way, I'm still your host, Trey Goodman. Now, we have Jess and Kate on this episode from the musical duo Wayward Maggie. But before that, let's check in with multimedia artist Eric Cox and see what he's creating. So, Eric Cox, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And we're here at Drip Coffee Lounge in Central Phoenix, thanks to Gina Madrid, the proprietor. So, you're an artist, but let's describe what sort of art you do.
Wow, where would I start with that?
Exactly.
So make something up for me.
I mean, you're a painter?
Yes,
right?
I am.
And what else would you say?
Well, I can probably start by saying that I do murals.
Right.
And maybe portraits, perhaps.
Right.
Make stuff up, basically.
What got you started doing that, though?
Let's see. When I was 5 years old, I went to an art class with my sister, who was an artist at the time.
Okay.
And they, just to occupy me, sat me down, said do a little watercolor.
Yeah.
And it was the best one in the class.
So you had talent right from the beginning.
Someone would say that.
Well, we're looking at your work as we talk today, and I think a lot of people would say that, actually. So I mean, like you said, you do murals, which are pretty amazing, I think.
Oh, thank you.
What brought you into doing that? Why murals?
There's this thing called money.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And apparently you need this to survive, okay?
Right.
So I can't necessarily make teeth or the crazy things that I would possibly want to make and make money.
Yeah.
So I decided to venture into a little more, a little more lucrative.
So you found there's a market for that?
Oh, no.
No?
But at least I tried, right?
Exactly. How many murals have you made?
Oh, a handful, maybe more than that,
No?
that I would claim.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
What would you classify your work as? Or can you classify it?
I would say mixed media, and then I really wouldn't have an answer other than that.
I've always got a question about when I look at mixed media, and I think your stuff's so interesting. How do you know when it's finished? Because you're mixed media, you're adding things. How do you know when to quit adding things?
Well, part of the process that I use a polyurethane finish, which is basically what you use on a hardwood floor or something like that to make it shiny. So technically speaking, it's finished when it's shiny and pretty. But other than that, as far as the meaning is concerned, it just depends on the piece.
So you like shiny and pretty?
I like shiny and pretty.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, I love the work. Your stuff that you're doing now, how would you explain that, the newer stuff?
Well, I think to start, I would go through an alley and find a dirty old couch.
Right.
And from there, I would tear out the foam, the polyurethane foam, the couch cushion.
Right, yeah.
And then I would go through a process of finding paint in someone's garage, latex paint perhaps.
Okay.
And then I pour paint into the foam, big sponge, and create
You
this
gotta pour a lot of paint in there, don't you?
tons of paint.
I would think so.
Well, it started with this whole idea that I would make things that didn't cost very much money to make,
Oh, okay.
but then it turned into this process. I need 10 gallons of paint to fill this piece of foam. And
Exactly.
so it didn't work out.
No, not so much.
No, not so much.
So is there a message in this foam artwork?
I wouldn't say there's necessarily a message, but it's just more of, I'm a little scared of the blank canvas. So if there's a white canvas in front of me, the infinite possibilities would totally freak me out. So I started this process. So the shape of the foam naturally, or how the paint interacts with it, I don't really have control of it. So I get out of control, and then I find the imagery within that.
But you did used to use canvas, and you've done numerous canvas work.
I did.
So what was the transition?
Well, even before the foam pieces, when I was working on the canvas, I would draw a blueprint or do a bunch of sketches on the canvas so that I would have something to work from.
Right.
So I wouldn't be just staring at this white blank thing.
The white
So,
canvas really bothered you.
horribly.
Really?
I think it still does, yeah.
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 But the foam is more comfortable?
The foam is more comfortable. It gives me the ability to push and pull and break away and melt. I mean, I can burn things. The foam melts if you hit it with a blowtorch.
So it's much more pliable and it's more creative.
Totally.
Is that correct?
Yes.
What do you want people to take away from your work?
Wow. I used to have all kinds of answers for that.
Yeah?
But now, reaching the age that I am, it's I want art to be a question. Art is a question to me. So hopefully they have a question. So the viewer sees it and it's just a question.
Do
If they
you
don't have an answer, I don't want to create an answer.
do you give your artwork titles, names, or do you leave them blank, or how?
I do give them names. They have a tendency to be somewhat biological in definition. It's just a simple, I have a piece that's called spined, and a piece that's called oral, and a piece that's called, it's just.
And the work that we're seeing, I mean, it looks like a spine. It looks like a mouthful of teeth. What is it? What is that teeth made out of?
The teeth are made of clay.
Clay.
So I actually sculpt teeth, and I'm the guy that sits in the corner of his dark home, and this is what I look like when I come out. But I make teeth and various things and jam them in the foam, and there it is.
What's that all about?
Well, do you really want to go there? No, I'm kidding. I would say that's about my dental problems, specifically the teeth, and how much money it costs to have that taken care of. Can you put like something on my mouth right now as we speak? That would be great.
I have a quote here. It says that you said this, actually, believe it or not. My art gets in the way of my happiness. Can you explain that?
Did you really? Is there going to be a tear that comes out? I think because I view other people, and this hopefully is not too vague, as they go into their job and their hobbies, and then they have free time to relax and do all this. But I'm essentially always thinking about it, or looking for it, or striving to make it something else. So driving through the alley looking for a piece of foam, or going on a hike, finding the patterns in nature to mimic, essentially, in one of my pieces. Sort of interrupts my lifestyle.
Do you enjoy just finding the foam versus, say, going to the store and buying it then,
Can you go to the store and buy it? I know you can go to the fabric store and buy it, but it's quite expensive. I certainly enjoy that process. I mean, going through a dumpster, you can find all kinds of good stuff, So I enjoy that process, but I think it's probably sort of ritualistic in the process of finding the piece of foam, through the process of actually saturating it with paint. Because I guess technically speaking, I could just take a piece of canvas and do essentially what I'm doing right on it.
But you like the foam so much better.
I like the foam.
And that's unique. I have not seen anyone else, at least to my knowledge, currently in Phoenix, doing this foam art.
Well, hopefully that is something that sets me aside. And really, I think I need that originality to feel like I'm actually taking a step forward with my work. So.
I had another quote here. It says your work has been classified as disturbing. Some people classify it as disturbing. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. What? Come on. No, I guess I can see. I have a piece that it's actually called Broken Contract, which is essentially it's a bird skeleton. I don't know what kind of bird, but I don't think it's disturbing to me, but it perhaps is disturbing for other people to see that natural element. Right. But essentially, I'm saturating this foam with paint, and it's it's a process that takes hours and hours and hours and hours, and I'm usually outside and it's hot, where there are these birds that are fighting over my head, and actually a bird hits me in the head. Totally scares me. I go inside, I come out a few hours later, and I don't know if this is from this situation, but there's a dead bird right next to the piece of foam. So I put it in a bucket and tore the feathers off and went through that process, which I guess could be disturbing.
So that could be a little disturbing.
Right, but when I put it in the piece, I just see it as a part of nature.
Do you want a reaction from your piece?
I think I want a little bit of reaction.
Yeah.
But everybody's gonna have their reaction.
Right.
It's not really that big of a deal. I don't want to be that provocative, I don't think.
Well, I've also read that they're calling you an up-and-coming artist, and how do you feel about that statement? What is your future?
First of all, I would say, what, I'm not there yet?
Yeah.
But really, I would be like, I'm just trying to make things, and hopefully people will enjoy them. And,
So you're okay with that statement?
I'm okay with that. Up and coming? That sounds like fun.
Right.
I'll accept it for now.
Exactly. What if you weren't allowed to be an artist? You couldn't go around, find foam and pour paint on it?
I would starve.
Yeah? No, but I mean mentally, how would that affect you?
I think it would be pretty much impossible. I don't know where I would put that energy that I need to. I mean, I try to avoid making art so that, like as we said before, interrupts my happiness, so that I can enjoy things like social life and sushi and all this fun stuff that's really, I think, maybe important in life. But I just feel like it's going to get in the way of if I can't be creative, I won't have those other avenues. So
Do you see another avenue of being creative if you couldn't?
I don't know of any of my other skills. Where can you apply making teeth out of clay?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Dental hygienist?
Yeah, possibly.
No, I don't think
yeah.
so, because the teeth
Yeah.
I make are really kind of creepy. So
Well, from where you've been to where you are now, what do you have another process in mind you're thinking about doing? Or are you going to do the foam thing for a while, or what?
ultimately, when I think of the foam, I just see it as the next step in all the things that I've been working on. So if it stays with the foam,
Right.
that's fine. But who knows? It could be pieces of metal in a year or anything really.
Just whatever strikes you is
Yeah.
kind of how you go with that. Well,
Definitely.
what colors do you like to use? I mean, some of it seems very vibrant. We've seen some greens, we've seen some reds.
Right.
I mean, is there any symbolism to any of that, significance, or?
I want to hope that it's a natural palette.
Yeah.
However, from what I've heard, it seems totally non-organic
Yeah.
and kind of plastic, and that might just be the shiny nature of the things I'm working with. But
So, are you choosing your materials sort of in a you're really thinking about it, or is it just how you feel? I mean, I know you're talking about going around finding things, but I
Right.
mean,
it depends on the piece.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it'll start with a piece that is from something I found, and the shape sort of dictates what will be revealed in the end, if there is an end. But then that might produce another idea from that shape, and then I'll go out and seek out, the shape that I need for the next idea, and so on and so on.
are you creating art every day, or just?
I try to create art every day.
Yeah.
I work in the art field. I do custom picture framing and murals and and custom art.
Yeah.
That it's not not necessarily related to my fine art, if you will. But I hope to create art more.
Even more than you're doing
Even
now?
more. Well, because that's not necessarily directed towards the ideas that I want to present. Corporate world doesn't like creepy teeth.
Exactly. Well, Eric, let's hope we catch up with you down the road and see what other projects you're working on, disturbing or not. We'll check in with you and see what we can come up with.
Sounds like a plan.
Hey.
I'll be there.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Supporting locally owned businesses is better for the economy, builds unique communities, and preserves the environment. Find out more at localfirstaz.com. Think local, buy local, be local.
There's a hole in the bucket that holds all my thoughts, all those I invented and those I was taught. I could have just kept them all safe in my head. Now they roll down the sidewalk instead. I guess I thought I could keep it forever. I guess I thought I'd just stay here with you. I guess I thought I'd hold up to the weather. I guess there's one dream that doesn't come true. There's a hole in the bucket as big as a dime, and out on the ground flows the last of my time. It sinks in the earth with my love and my thoughts, and the bucket is all that I've got.
So, Kate and Jess, welcome to the show, and welcome to Drip Coffee Lounge here in Central Phoenix.
Yay. Thanks for having us.
It's great. So, you guys make up Wayward Maggie. Okay. What is Wayward Maggie all about? What's the history on this little duo?
Well, I think Kate and I both come from musical backgrounds and both very different. But when we met and started playing together, we realized we had a lot in common, and a lot of it was pretty wayward.
Yes, I mean, often when people ask us, well, what sort of music is it? It's really hard to say because we like, our tastes in music are so sort of eclectic, I guess.
Yeah.
So, is that why Maggie is wayward? I mean,
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it was Wayward Maggie sort of implies folk. I mean, we have a love for a lot of old traditional songs as well, and so we wanted the waywardness, but the sound, I think, of an old folk duo.
Yeah, and on our website, which is, by the way, www.waywardmaggie.com,
Right.
our logo that we had designed sort of embodies the idea. It's sort of a scruffy-looking girl with a scruffy-looking hat on who looks like she might know a thing or two, like knows her way around.
The,
you know.
the sort of female version of the Artful Dodger.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
so you would describe your music if you had to. How would you describe it?
Not too dreadful. It says that on our website. That's one of
Not
our
too
reviews.
dreadful. We play a lot of old traditional songs. Kate plays guitar and keyboard, and she plays harmonicas and other instruments. I play mainly just guitar.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How many instruments do you actually play?
Really, I would say you can probably only those three. I mean,
So that's-
egg shakers don't count. I mean, anybody can.
So the
do
three
that.
are piano
Piano and guitar and harmonica, basically.
and you, Jess?
Play guitar and sing.
Yeah.
And we've both been songwriters,
Right.
and
So I mean, you guys came together to form this group, though. You each have your own special background. I mean, and
Yes.
yours is
okay. I came to this country. I'm born and raised in Zimbabwe,
Zimbabwe.
which is, we won't even go into that now. That's 5 interviews worth of stuff. But anyway, Zimbabwe, and then I lived in New Zealand, and then I came over here. And when I came to this country, I worked my passage over on a freighter, and I came here to play music, really. And soon after
So
getting-
your desire was to come from Zimbabwe to the U.S. to play music? I
No,
mean?
not really. I went to Britain first
Okay,
of all. I lived
all
there
right.
for a couple of years, and I went to New Zealand, and I'm kind of a traveller.
Okay.
But from New Zealand, I thought I'd like to go to the US. There's a lot going on there musically, so I worked my passage over and came over here, and shortly afterwards met someone who started booking me, and so I toured for a number of years on my own, brought out a couple of CDs.
Still available on Amazon, are they not?
Still available on Amazon.
Got to push that.
And then Kate, you've got a whole other.
And then your
musical
story is?
My story is I come from a family of career musicians. My mother still has a cult following. Her name was and is Judy Henske, with an E on the end, and she was sort of one of the big folk singers sort of in the 60s. And my father and stepfather are both producer, keyboard players, piano players. My dad was in the Love and Spoonful after they had all their big hits. Sorry, Dad. And then my stepdad, who's been my dad since I was 3, he's played keyboards with a lot of bands. He was maybe most noted for being with a group called The Section first, who used to back James Taylor, and they did jazz fusion records and
total
stuff.
background of music.
And
in
then he
your-
was with Jackson Brown for most of his heyday,
Oh,
playing
wow.
keyboards for him.
So you had to be in music, I guess.
Well, you would
She's
presume so.
She's the black sheep of the family.
Yeah, I'm
what-
the black sheep of the family in
She
that I don't do
became a-
music for a living. I'm a librarian for some reason.
Yeah, now you guys both work at the library, is that not?
We do.
We do.
And so is that how you came together?
Yep, that's where we
Sure
met.
enough, everybody kept saying, you guys should get together because you're both musicians. And I said, oh, that would be ridiculous. And so, but eventually we did because it was
Yeah.
unavoidable.
Well, let's give the audience a little sample of your sound before we get into too many more questions, just so people can get a feel for what you guys sound like.
Okay, well, we'd like to do a bit of this song that I wrote. It's called Beautiful to Me. Sometimes people try to tell me there is no beauty in life. And they don't see that as people, they are the beauty in life. They may not know it, they may not understand, but they're beautiful to me.
That's
So
cool.
on along
Yeah.
those lines.
So you guys are big into harmonizing, right?
That's our main
Yeah,
thing, because
that's our
it took
selling
us a
point.
while to get together. You know, we said we have to have a jam. We have to have a jam. You know, and weeks went by, and I'm still going to call you about that jam. You know, but finally I went over to Kate's house, and we sang a few songs and went, oh, gee, now this feels really good.
Yeah,
So-
because each of us had been performing solo almost entirely,
Yeah.
you know, and
So how's the dynamic where you're used to being the star, I guess, right? And then you had to share that. How's that feel?
Well, I really enjoy it because I mean, lately these days, for the last several years now, I've been playing a lot in restaurants. I'm kind of background music, sort of human karaoke, and you know, just get on with my thing. But having someone to play off, you know, to actually be doing a show, doing a performance, and Kate and I think we look so different. Kate's so tall, and I'm shorter than her, and
not short.
I'm the short, scruffy one. And Kate is sort of gracious and gorgeous, and we just kind of play off each other. I love it.
You guys seem to enjoy
Well, I
enjoy it.
no, you know, and the thing is too that it's just so much more fun if you have a buddy up there. And I used to get
Absolutely.
horrible, almost crippling stage fright, and now it's just like, hey, this is going to be fun, you know. So, yeah, it's
Well, where are you guys trying to take Maggie, Wayward Maggie? Where are you guys trying to take her? I mean, what do you want to accomplish?
to the studio. We're taking Wayward Maggie to
Oh,
the studio this
that's-
summer. That is our main goal, isn't it, for this year?
Right at
We're
the
going to
moment.
record a CD.
Do some recording.
Now you've done that before, though.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
have
what's that
a-
experience like? I mean, you've done a
Oh.
couple, right?
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
couple
well-
of CDs.
Yeah.
I really like it because it gives you an opportunity to really do the very best you can, you
Yeah,
know, and so you know, if something goes wrong, you can say, oh no, let's do that again, and just make it as best as you possibly can, and then you have it.
Yeah.
Always, it's always like that, and so anyway, Kate and I are wanting to record, but also I see us as being a folk festival type of band.
Yeah.
We've done a number of festivals around the state of Arizona.
So is that your goal to do even more, to
Even
really
more.
just move into
Further
the whole
afield.
folk?
Yeah.
Oh, Kate, we're going to New Zealand next year.
Yes, we are.
That's
We
pretty
are going to
exciting.
New Zealand
Wow.
to play a show. The
Yeah.
show has been booked in Auckland, New Zealand.
Wow, excellent.
We're just part of it. It's a
Yeah.
big.
But that's cool, right? You're going to play there for what? How many days are you going to be there to play?
Gee, I don't know. The idea is what Jess had this inspiration that maybe if we do get festivals in other states, for example, or other countries, we'd have enough time to do a little footwork and maybe get a few gigs so that when we
Around
go there,
them.
we're not just, yeah.
But you guys seem to have a bit of humor in your little repertoire. Let me read this. It says, this is from your website. They've never sung anything that might be offensive to the avian population. And that's a quote from the Parrot Training Today. I don't subscribe to that, so I mean,
Parrot Training Today.
is that a monthly or
I don't
what?
know. I think Kate subscribes to that because you
Yeah,
saw that
well,
somewhere, right?
and it isn't that I own a parrot. We used to, and it hated people. So I guess it's sort of a wistful, what could have been subscription, you know. But and then what does Lowrider Journal say? Did you write that down?
I've read that
That
one,
was
and I
the
was
best
like,
quote.
You're
Oh, that's
kidding.
okay. Well,
Well,
go to our
they'll go to the
website.
website and they can check that out. But
can
so
see it.
humor play a part in you guys like to just have fun with the audience or what?
Oh,
heck
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I you know, I lived for a long time in New Zealand, and some of my best friends over there are all musicians. And I know a duo over there called the Top Twins, who actually are twins and really well known over there. And they have such fun with their audiences. I mean, their audiences range in age from 12 to 92 or something, and
Wow.
they are just loved. And they're not trying to be the best. They're not trying to be amazing. They just have so much fun, and that taught me. You know, you don't have to be stylistically astonishing. You can just have a lot of fun and bring the audience in. And to
So
me,
is
that's
that
the
what you
best.
guys are about? Is having fun? I mean, is there a message in what you guys are performing? And is there something we're supposed to come away with, or just have a good time, or what?
Have a good time.
Yeah, have a good time, and hopefully we'll be pleasing sonically. I think
Yeah.
that the way we sound is pretty memorable. Hopefully that would be remembered, and they'll eventually have a CD we can sell them.
So how many songs you guys got built up that you've created? I mean, getting ready for the CD.
Jeez. Well, gosh, we know so many songs, we do so many songs, but we
We're
have to
still
narrow it down
tossing
to like
around.
8 or 9
Yeah,
for
we're
this
still
thing.
tossing around ideas for. I mean, we know for definite a few of those.
The
but
songs
we're
that
still-
each of us has written are rather low key and you know, not raucous.
see,
All the
for-
raucous stuff that we do live, we didn't write.
Yeah.
So we have to start writing something.
You see, now that's the thing, you know,
Wild and woolly.
people that are fun, we have the secret, you know, urge to keep singing mournful songs, you know. So between us, we've written so many mournful
We
kind of
have,
songs.
or at least just, you know, downbeat, you know, not fast and bouncy. It's kind of meditative.
Well,
So-
you know, I appreciate you guys being on the show, and we're out of time, but why don't you send us out on something?
All right. Well,
Okay,
this is
stay,
an
right? I have my keyboard on.
oh yeah.
Okay.
What will we do if we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do then? Only hark through the town for a Hungary crown, and we'll yodel it over again. What will we do if we marry a soldier? Oh, true lovers, what will we do then? Only handle his gun, and we'll fight for the fun, and we'll yodel it over again.
Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you like the new name of our show. As you can see, there are a lot of creative people in the Valley. Until next time, I'm your host, Trey Goodman.
For more information on the show, reach us at 480-969-3789 or contact us on the web at InsideCreativeMinds.com. I want to be able to use my hands.